You're caught in the SF Vortex.
Who the hell are you?
I'm your host, and it's my mission to warn you about the extraterrestrial activity taking over theaters, like Men in Black.
Hold it. Nobody put you in charge.
Well, yeah, but if I'm not in charge, who's going to tell you about the Sci-Fi Channel's new original series, Mission Genesis?
So, what do we do now?
We go on. Carry out the mission.
Thanks, pal. Now, if there's no more interruptions, I guarantee the War Room will keep your head spinning about this season's SF cliffhangers.
You've got to stop!
Not a chance, old man. I'm on a roll. We even have an invite to an online party. So what do you say we get this show on the road as we preview what's happening this week in sci-fi entertainment?
That's it. I'm out of here.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to SF Vortex. I'm Roger Lodge, once again ready to bring you all the latest in sci-fi entertainment. Now, as you know, folks, summer usually means reruns, but not here in the Vortex. We've got your first look at the Sci-Fi Channel's original movie, Dark Planet, and a preview of the Sci-Fi Channel's first ever original dramatic series. It's called Mission Genesis. We also have your exclusive invitation to DS9's special online fiesta, and the fun doesn't stop there. Later on in the War Room, we have a party of our own when we debate the onslaught of season finales, what left you cold and what left you begging for more. But first up, it's Men in Black. Now, if you believe the buzz, this film is poised to be even the summer's biggest blockbuster. Maybe even more than Lost World. You know, this movie not only has star power with superstars Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, but it also has, let's face it, the best tagline of the summer: protecting the Earth from the scum of the universe. Let's see what's brewing for the two elite cops.
Look, tell your boys Ed I had an absolutely wonderful time, and thank you for everything. Just show me the door. Here's a call. Here's a call. Thank you.
Men in Black is sure to make a bang when it lights up theaters July 2nd. That's host talk for it should do really well. Okay, just opening this weekend is Batman and Robin. Can the Warner Brothers franchise live up to all the hype? Well, only time and box office receipts will tell, but rumor has it that Batman #5 is already in the works. You know, Batman and Robin's director Joel Schumacher is featured on this week's installment of the Sci-Fi Channel's Masters of Fantasy. So here's a little sample of what you'll learn about Mr. Schumacher's thinking.
There's a handful of geniuses touched by the gods. The rest of them, if they can do it, you can do it, and you can do it better. And that is the truth, because I sure am not a genius touched by the gods. I'm a lucky person who's worked hard.
You're not just lucky, you're a genius, you're the best director ever. And I'd like to be in Batman 5. Masters of Fantasy featuring Joel Schumacher first airs Monday, June 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific. Mark your calendars. It's very cool. All right, and the Sci-Fi Channel just keeps its summer original programming coming this week with the premiere of the original film Dark Planet. Now, on a post-apocalyptic Earth, two opposing factions, genetically enhanced humans and non-altered humans, vie for world domination. The two groups must work together to find a new home for the human race when they discover the Dark Planet. So let's check in and see how they're all getting along.
How long have you been a telepath?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You read my thoughts on the bridge, Lara.
It is my duty to report all conversations that I have with you and Roger concerning Commander Winter. For your own welfare, you can...
Have you ever seen an unaltered human body?
Trust me, folks, you don't want to miss Dark Planet, which premieres on Saturday, June 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern. And if that's not enough, next month the Sci-Fi Channel launches its very first original half-hour dramatic series entitled Mission Genesis. I didn't read for that. Anyway, aboard a ship named Deepwater Black, a crew of 6 young clones awaken to discover that they're on a mission to repopulate the Earth after a deadly plague. Want a preview? Hey, say no more.
Hey, it looks like we still have a hostile on our tail.
Are you sure?
Well, it's still at a range, but it's showing up in the tactical scanner. Hi, I'm Brent.
You checked the weapon systems?
Sure. 11 quantum resonance scanners, 3.
No. I mean, do you remember how to lock on it?
Get me a range of something and I'll show you.
Too bad you weren't in my life an hour ago.
Well, hold on, you two. We're not going to sit here and slug it out with these hostiles.
Who says?
Their defense is a good offense.
Yeah, and a good offense could get us all killed. Our shields are out.
All the more reason to strike first. I don't understand the problem.
Has anyone tried to communicate with them?
No, we were just a little bit busy dodging a hostile alien. I didn't have time to talk.
Then we just blast you in.
No! We establish a game plan. We have to exhaust all our options first. First, with Zach, we'll try and get the computer up and running. Second...
Hold it. Nobody put you in charge.
Nobody put you in charge either.
They better get that straightened out. They're going to be on that ship a long time together. You know, I've had a chance to check out this series, one of the perks of working for the Sci-Fi Channel, and I think you're going to like this one, folks. It's entitled Mission Genesis, and it starts on the Sci-Fi Channel Monday, July 21st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have more previews as the premiere draws closer. Okay, last week, fans of Star Trek Deep Space Nine had a chance to join Lita, played, of course, by the lovely and talented Chase Masterson, and Rom, played by Max Grodenchik, and congratulate the happy couple on their impending TV marriage. Fans who logged on to the Sci-Fi Channel's Dominion site got to experience the new Palace software technology as they delivered their messages of health and happiness to the couple.
I'm concentrating. It's not as easy as it looks.
Because you're typing.
I'm telling you, it's brain work. Who does this for a living?
The guests of honor were occupied for hours, mingling in Palace's virtual community.
Wow, this is so wild.
Instead of strolling through boring text, this software has graphical thinking that really gave the party a life of its own.
It was awesome. It was awesome. I think it's my favorite kind of party to have, you know? I mean, you know, no secondhand smoke, no line for the bathroom, no trouble parking.
It was the first time, I'm embarrassed to say it's the first time I've ever been online anywhere, and it was, actually once before, but for a very short, like 10 minutes or so. It was amazing.
Going out tomorrow and I'm going to buy a computer and a modem.
Okay, Max, it's a question. Max, is Nog going to call Lita Mom?
Well, Chase, actually I think that Aaron Eisenberg, a.k.a. Nog, mentioned using the term Moogie. In any case, we were able to ask the happy couple just exactly how they're adapting to married life.
Married life so far.
Go on, honey, go on. Go on.
I think we should tell people that the episode is not, the wedding is not the centerpiece of the episode,
No.
just so they know.
No.
The Dominion are coming.
It's very short.
The wedding is about 90 seconds
It's
long.
very Fiddler on the Roof. I've been online too long.
That was such a fun event. You know, the only thing, though, is I'm still trying to figure out, what do you get a Ferengi, other than really big Q-tips? Anyway, I'll find out where they're registered, and I'll get back to you. And how about that DS9 season finale, huh? Terrific stuff, very compelling. The big question is, what does the future hold for our favorite Federation space station? If you missed it, folks, make sure you catch the rerun before the fall premiere. And speaking of season finales, when we come back, we will be in the war room, slicing and dicing the season's final episodes of the season's bests. Don't go anywhere. We're right back. All right, welcome back to the show, watched by more Ferengis than any other SF Vortex. We have made it down to the war room, and joining me today, we have Donna Leto, writer for the syndicated Highlander, the series, and a newcomer to the war room. And also 2 war room alums are here, Robert Meyer Burnett, Sci-Fi Universe's sci-fi critic at large, and he is a genre film editor. And Michael Logan, critic for TV Guide and sci-fi expert. Gang, welcome. Let's get to my first topic. It has to do with the Voyager cliffhanger, and we have a couple of different opinions. Let's get to them. The first is from Vortex viewer Holly Benton. She writes, Voyager needed a ratings boost, so they create an enemy which is worse than the Borg. Why? The Borg are bad enough, and if the writers were creative, we'd have a great storyline dealing with Voyager's progress through Borg space. However, Melissa Carpenter disagrees. All I have to say about this year's cliffhangers is Scorpion. It is by far the best cliffhanger I ever remember seeing in the world of Trek, let alone any other science fiction show. Okay, that's it. It's open for debate. Donna, do you agree? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Qualified thumbs up. I'm not quite as happy as your last correspondent about the episode, but I think it opens up a lot of promise for next season's episodes, and I just hope they follow up on it. However, I don't think you can judge an entire storyline by the first episode.
Michael, do you think that last letter was actually from Rick Berman's relative? What's going on?
Well, this person needs to get out more.
Thumbs up or thumbs down? What do you say?
Well, I think promise is the operative word. We keep getting sold a bill of goods with these, Borg. They started out promising us the Borg, and we found a dead Borg. Then they promised us the Borg again, and we found a band of quasi sort of kind of Borg. And then they promised us the Borg again because they claim they, feel sorry for the fans that felt cheated, and then they come up with this thing where there's this big badass villain that's beating up the Borg. This is not the Borg.
Okay. Robert, what do you say?
It's smacked of the 11th hour job to save the show that it really was, and I think that it doesn't make any sense to create a villain or a big bully that has a big stick and not explain where he came from or why he's a bully. And they've ruined the Borg. They've taken the Borg. Every episode that they do the Borg, just sends them that much further into the ground as villains. And they were great when they were first introduced in Q Who, back in the second season of Next Generation, and they've gone downhill from there. Let the Borg be the Borg.
Mr. Logan, will this cliffhanger save this show?
I don't think a cliffhanger can save it, but with what I know about next season, which of course we're not allowed to talk about, it sounds like they could have some really good stuff going with the show that could get it back on track. Has it ever been on track, though?
Never.
Okay.
Voyager has never been on track. It's never voyaged anywhere.
Exactly.
Donna, what do you think? Will it save the Voyager franchise here?
If they can live up to it.
Right.
But as Michael pointed out, their track record is not that promising. So knock wood, because more good sci-fi is what we need. And unfortunately, right now, I don't think Voyager's there.
Robert, what do you think?
I think they should bring the ship home and have it fight on the front at the season finale or season beginning of Deep Space Nine. Because Deep Space Nine is the best Star Trek television series since the original.
Speaking of which, how about that DS9 cliffhanger? In my opinion, whatever it's worth, that was a show. That was a cliffhanger. Yep. Probably the best that show's ever had. What do you think, Michael?
Absolutely. And I do not understand why. This is all done by Paramount. This is all done by the same bunch of people, how they can get it so right on one show and so wrong on another. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, Deep Space Nine rocks the house. I mean, you've got Ira Behr, who is the co-executive producer now, who it's clearly his show. Rick Berman's off doing his IMAX movies and his God knows what he's doing. But Ira Behr and Robert Hewitt Wolf, the story editor, have written together that episode, and they've written a number of episodes this season, including a two-parter in Purgatory's Shadow and By Inferno's Light, the best two-parter that modern Star Trek has ever done, because that show is based out of character. Conflict comes out of character. The Next Generation was always a bunch of archetypes that went through the motions of a plot. Whereas Deep Space Nine has real character drama and conflict that creates plot. They've created a great secondary cast that they've really brought out. Everybody has something to do. Gul Dukat is now the greatest villain ever on Star Trek.
Did you realize how many people were in that finale? I mean,
so
they had
great.
so many characters
everybody
in that.
was on that show, and they've done. Everybody has great storylines. You know who they are, where they're going, why they're doing what they're doing, and that they took plot threads that they've been building on since the show began.
And the great thing about this also is that this isn't just like a, first part of a two-parter. This is a cliffhanger for an entire season,
and it's the
which
culmination
is the ideal
of
thing.
years.
True.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank goodness,
Absolutely.
thank goodness. But they managed to make a guy who sits at the bar and never says anything more interesting to me than the stud on Voyager. You know?
Completely.
That's a good
Completely. I mean, Morn is a good man.
And Worf and Dax hooking up, the possible. I'm very excited.
Oh, the writers. I mean, you've got
lust in space.
Oh, that's
Ron
terrific
Moore, who
stuff.
was never able to take the Deanna Troi Worf storyline in Next Generation and make it happen. They've finally done it right with Dax because, let's face it, Terry Farrell is the hottest babe ever to grace the space lanes of Star Trek ever.
Okay.
You heard it here.
Not going to argue with that.
And I love that new movie
I'm afraid
uniform.
I'll have to take myself out of that debate.
Gotta love her.
All right. Don't touch that remote, folks. There's a lot more here in the War Room, a lot more on season finales. It's all when SF Vortex continues. All right, welcome back to SF Vortex. We are still in the War Room, hashing out this season's cliffhangers. with Sci-Fi Universe genre critic Robert Meyer Burnett, TV Guide's Michael Logan, and Highlander the series writer Donna Leto. All right, one of the most unpredictable shows of the year, of course, X-Files, as always. That season finale did not disappoint. Mulder dead. There's a better chance of a Vanilla Ice unplugged, let's face it. And how about Scully? Is she involved? Michael Logan, what's going on?
Oh, I don't buy any of the stuff they laid on us in that episode, but it sure was good.
Well, Mulder's got to be back. He's getting $6 million to do the movie.
They got another series, they got a movie, they got,
right.
They're not going anywhere.
Donna, what did you think of the cliffhanger of X-Files?
I thought it actually was predictable. I mean, I'm sitting there going, dead again? Wasn't it just last year they were blowing him up in the Anasazi Desert? I mean, can't they find another well to drill for this? But then I saw
somebody at the end of a cliffhanger.
Well, I heard Tia Leone.
I can't imagine why anyone would do that.
I heard Tia Leone's mad that she married Mulder's clone. You know, the David Duchovny clone. I mean, who
I'll do the jokes if you don't mind, Mr. Burnett. Okay.
But after I got over feeling a little cheated, then I wondered.
Did you feel a little cheated?
I felt a little cheated. Then I wondered what were the writers thinking? Did they want me to end the episode going, oh no, Mulder's dead, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. Or I took the next step and I'm sitting there going, so who's pulling the wool over Scully's eyes? What is the plot here? And once I latched onto that, I felt a lot better about it.
But what about all the monsters and the satanic characters that aren't part of the mythology that they run into? Why doesn't somebody say, well, you know what? Okay, maybe there's not aliens, but there's a lot of other weird stuff. Nobody ever admits to anything on that show, and it gets maddening after a while. You're like, I saw it. There is a shape-changing alien bounty hunter.
Mr. Logan, time for your 2 cents. Go ahead.
I still say I liked it, and I would like to say that Gillian Anderson was so good.
Oh, she's terrific.
These last 4 episodes,
She is terrific.
We're talking Emmy here, folks.
Yeah.
But, you know, the whole cancer thing has been, to me, just so incredible. And if you did this on some other show, we'd all be kind of just bummed out because, you know, it's like not somebody. But this is so, you know, intoxicating what they're doing with this
and
thing.
It's insidious.
And they're so smart with this show that I do believe you got to give them the credit for having, you know, being a step or two ahead of us, and that this is going to pay off well.
Here we go. Not to put you on the spot. Okay, Donna. First of all, can we clear this up? Is it Highlander or Highlander?
We say Highlander.
Okay, good. Now, what about that cliffhanger? What did you think of the cliffhanger, Michael Logan?
The cliffhanger was excellent, but why did you kill Richie Ryan? This is like the
that is
equivalent of killing off Opie on the Andy Griffith show.
Yeah, what were you guys thinking there?
What we were thinking was the show is about Duncan MacLeod and how Duncan MacLeod deals with events in his life. And we've killed off his good friends, we've killed off his lovers. How would he react to a situation, A, where Richie gets killed, you know, his best friend, his student, but we've done that. How does he react if he's the one forced to do the deed?
Robert, what was your take on the Highlander cliffhanger?
I liked it. I think, like you'd said, good drama, Macbeth, Shakespearean tragedy of epic proportion, but I had a problem with your evil. I mean, there's just this nameless, faceless evil again. It could have been the aliens kicking the Borgs behind, but again, I'm sure we'll find out next season, right?
Say,
yes.
Unlike possibly Voyager.
But again, I'd like to see this evil explained. And let me ask you, was that really the Pazuzu statue from The Exorcist that you'd taken out of mothballs from some house? It looked just like
Unless they filmed The Exorcist in France.
How about this? Another sidekick for Duncan MacLeod? Can you give us a hint?
Not in season 6.
No sidekick.
He's going to have to deal with this with himself, and he has other friends. You know, Joe Dawson will be there for him. Maybe Mythos will be there for him. Maybe Mythos won't be there for him. It was left very nebulous in the last episode where they fall on the believing what Duncan saw is true scale.
Okay, next topic. How about a show like Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Rapidly becoming one of my favorites. Now, they do a season ender. It's not really a cliffhanger, but it was terrific. Robert, what do you think?
I dug it. They wrapped it up in a very nice fashion. I mean, they don't have to leave you wanting more. If they can tell a great story, they can end a great story. Right. I just think they need to be true to the characters, true to the premise of the show. That's what I want to see.
And you and I have a thing for Buffy, let's face it. Michael, what'd you think?
I agree, and I'm getting to the point, I think we all are, with these finales, that they got to be cliffhangers, they got to be these big, bloated, over-promoted things, and it's all about, you know, PR, that's what it is. And these guys went ahead and they just did a hell of a good bang-up last episode, and it really makes you want to be back next season. And that's what a finale should do.
You agree with that, Donna?
I agree with that, but it left just enough for you wonder what happens next year, because they did kill the Master.
Just like
Where do we
everyone
go?
out there right now is wondering what's going to happen when Roger comes back from a commercial. I got to get out of here. I want to thank my guests, Donna Leto, Robert Meyer Burnett, and Michael Logan. SF Vortex will be right back, folks. Don't even think about changing that channel. See you in a minute. All right, welcome back to Terry Farrell's favorite show, SF Vortex. You know, this week's TV Guide cover features the 100 greatest episodes of all time. Included on that list are such sci-fi classic shows as The Prisoner, The Twilight Zone, The X-Files, and of course, Star Trek. The issue hits the stands Monday. Check it out to see if your favorite episode made the cut. What do you say we visit the old Vortex mailbag, folks? Here we go. Viewer K wants to know, is there any truth that the ABC is in pre-production for a new Dune miniseries? ABC, not this time. That extravaganza could only be brought to you by, you guessed it, the Sci-Fi Channel in 1999. Well, that wraps up this week in the world of sci-fi entertainment. Be sure to join us next week for our special 1-hour Roswell extravaganza as we kick off the Sci-Fi Channel's Roswell Week. We'll be joined by such fabulous guests as Hugo Award winner Harlan Ellison, Next Generation's Lieutenant Barclay, Dwight Schultz, Sliders creator Tracy Torme, and Roswell experts Kevin Randall, Carl T. Flock, Russ Estes, and Don Ecker to hash out how the Roswell incident has built such a mystique for 50 years. Send us your thoughts. How has the alleged UFO crash at Roswell influenced you in Hollywood over the years? Email us with your questions and comments. Granny, I love you. Until next week, I'm Roger, and I'm out.
Each year, hundreds of people bear witness to the unexplainable. It's up to the Sightings investigative team to decipher the truth. Watch an all-new episode of Sci-Fi Channel's Sightings, coming up next exclusively on the Sci-Fi Channel.